Hi, today we are going to walk through using the review and track change features in Microsoft Word and also look at some possible comments we might make on an example paragraph. So I am using Microsoft Word on an Apple computer, so it might visually look a little bit different on your computer if you're using a Windows machine, but you'll still find everything in the same place and it will be very similar. All right, so the first thing you want to do when you're going to review someone's paragraph in Word, and this is the first thing I'll do when I'm grading your paragraphs, is go up to the top and click on the tab that says Review. This will bring up a variety of menu options. Here, you want to click Track Changes and move that to On. Again, if you're using a Windows machine, instead of a little flip switch here, there'll just be a button that says Track Changes that you'll click on. Alright, once I turn track changes on, what that does is now Word will keep a record of everything I change. So when I am grading your papers, I will turn track changes on, and so as I work through the paper and make comments, you will be able to go back and see all of the notes and comments or changes or suggestions for changes that I make as I'm working through your paragraph. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So with track changes on, if I were to delete this T over here, you see it now appears a comment box that says Sarah Pett, this is me since I'm using my machine, deleted the T. Now, if you get my comments back, then you can either click to accept that change, or you can delete it. You can reject the change. Say, no, I want to keep that T. So you close it, and then the T comes back. So it keeps a record of every change. The other thing that you can do with track changes is to make a comment on something. So let's look at this paragraph. So the first sentence, the kitchen is the most inconvenient room in my house. For one thing, the sink is so low that I'm forced to hunch over when I wash dishes. So a comment I might make right away is to look at this initial transition word, for one thing. And I would click over here under comments, click new. What that does is it pops a comment over here. So it's not going to make any changes on the body of the document. It's just going to add this little note about this thing. So I would say consider using a less wordy transition. So what I mean by that is using just first or for example. Those would be two possibilities for a less wordy transition. You could just say, first, the sink is so low that I'm forced to hunch over, because this is the first reason that you're giving, right? Based on the topic sentence, the kitchen is the most inconvenient room in my house, then we can guess that the rest of this paragraph is going to go on to describe why, give a series of reasons. So here, first, there's our first reason. So then when you have made changes on a document with track changes turned on, you have a few different ways that you can view it. For here, click this down, you'll see final showing markup, final, original showing markup, and original. Those are final showing markup. This incorporates the changes or suggested changes that I've made, and it shows these comments. If I switch to final, now the comment disappears. Don't see it anymore. If I go to original, now I haven't made any changes on this, so it's not going to show them. But if I had deleted that T, it would show the T as still being there. Here, original showing markup, it would keep all of the changes, keep everything the way the original person wrote it, but it would still show the comments. When you receive a graded paper from me, if you can't see any comments on it, the first thing you want to do is come over here to review and make sure you're looking at final showing markup, because your default settings in Word might be set to either default to final or to original. So even though when you first open up the Word document, even if you can't see my comments, doesn't necessarily mean they're not there. Click on review and then click on final showing markup. If you do that and you still can't see anything, then email me and we can troubleshoot to figure out what's going on. But take that step first. Click on review and then click final showing markup. All right, for the peer review for the class, we won't be using Word in this way to do peer review on each other's papers, we'll be doing all of those in the discussion posts. You'll just read each other's papers and then give comments back. But if you have a question for me that you want me to look at outside of what you're working on in the peer review group discussions, you can email me a copy of the draft. You can email it to me right through the course website and include the questions you have on your paper. So you can do, for example, maybe you have a sentence and it sounds funny to you for some reason and you're trying to figure out why, and you want help sorting it out, or you've used transition words but you're not sure. Anything you have a question on with your paragraph, highlight the area you have the question, click comment, and then write your question in the comment. So that way, when you send me the paper, I can look at it and I can see all the questions you have for me right there, and then I can respond and I can add on to the comment. You can go back in and add on to the comments, and I can type in my answers there. So if you have any questions on using the track changes and review features in Word, please send me a message or post something in the virtual office. I have also linked a few tutorials that you can access on the Microsoft Office website that has more detailed and in-depth instructions on this, but we'll just be using the basic turning track changes on and then using comments for the class.